So I am working again. I actually haven't worked on this in over a week. As you can see, I've got these paver stones on here, and what it was is it was so curved, I'm actually taking the bend for the most part out of it. So it'll be flat again. What I did is I actually sprayed it with water, and then I put this so that it had pressure on it, and then just let it dry overnight, and it took the curve right out of it. But this is what I've been making. And you can see I sort of left these little extra edge things. And what I did is I took, this was actually a header for like a door. On the interior of a door, it would go up top as like a crown. And I cut it so it was just a foot, 12 inches on each side. But I actually had to wait. So the Kreg thing that I have comes with a 4-inch thing and a bit. Takes a Robinson square. And what happened was, it was too big. My drill, which I can't find my other drill, but my other drill is the exact same size. That's my hammer drill for going through concrete. But I couldn't get it to fit in these holes I created for the pocket screw. But I just took this and I just pieced these together. Old pieces gives it a really cool rustic appeal. So once I got the smaller bit, I was able to put it together. And I also removed, at one time, this had a back and then a drawer, or maybe even a drawer, and it had all these drawer pieces. And I left this so that somebody could possibly put a board on top and maybe have a little hidden place, but that top is going to go on top of here. And I'll probably do the same thing where I'll pocket hole it on there. But I couldn't get it to fit because of the size of it. But it really will be a nice, cool looking table when I'm done. In fact, let me quickly pick it up and see what we can do. So now that I've got it up, it's flat again. But you can see that while it's connected on here, it actually has a crack that goes all through the top. Ooh, slipped on me, and to the bottom. So, and it's not perfect. There's still some, but it's much flatter. So what I may actually take some little hammer pieces and like decorative. I've seen where you hammer them in to act sort of as a break. A joint, a metal joint. Geez, I wish I knew the name of it. But anyway, we'll pop this right back on. I just wanted to show it did turn out to be much flatter. And there it is. When it's all together, and I'll drill it out, and you just have all this nice little holes and rough hewn, but I think somebody will really enjoy its rustic appeal. And I could paint the bottom if need be. And I decided not to bother making that into a cart of sort, just because the wood is so finely finished. And it's so new and so clean that it just doesn't look right with this rustic appeal. Okay, so I've got it, and I actually centered it from here 10 inches and here 10 inches. Even though this extendable makes it uneven, it will help balance the whole thing and not look like it was put on crooked. And I've got it centered in between, and I'll use pocket hole screws, probably on the sides. I might try them on the long ends, but because of this little rail base, I'm not sure if it's going to work. Now the cool thing is I'm actually going to put a little board. As you can see, there's still an area, a little gap, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a removable board that will simply pull. So it will be a little extendable thing which will create a shelf on each side and also have a secret hidden compartment. So when it closes, you can store things in here if need be. We are headed down my basement, which is where I keep some of my supplies and where I keep finished projects. For now, my work area is actually over there where that stack of hubcaps is. But for the moment, most of my finished projects go right here. And right here is where I've finished with some bags, items, stuff that's for sale right now. So this cool, it's not actually part of the table, but it is interesting. A man made this using rebar, and a woman gave it to me. Said it was her ex-husband's. Made it years ago. She doesn't have room for it anymore. Surprise. But anyway, here's the table. Let me back up for right now, and it really turned out nice. I did hit it with some of my Howard's Rejuvenator to just hit up some of the scratches, and it really makes this worn live edge really pop. So I'm really quite happy with this little farmhouse table. I have one myself. So the final thing I'm going to do is where this shelf is. I'm actually going to get an... Oh, I'm sorry, I put my finger over. I'm not used to this phone still. I'm going to put a board so that I can pull it out, and you've either got a supported ledge, and I might cut the board into 2 pieces, and then maybe have a... You could store something in a basket up there, you know, just pull the basket out. So I'm quite happy with how it turned out. And I'll show you real quick, as soon as I can get this off. That's part of my daughter's crib. As soon as I can get this down, I will show you what I have done to make the top stay on. Okay, now I've got it right back upside down, and I'll try and stay in the light here, but you can see that I ended up doing some Kreg holes going down, just 6 going down into them, and that's what's holding it on. That's all it needs. And then with right here, of course, I don't know, if I had the hardware, I'd make a basket that would lift out and down, but I ended up pulling apart this door for this panel. I'll trim it to fit, and it will be the bottom shelf that will slide. I actually tried using a piece of an old organ, but it ended up being too thick. This will be just plenty strong, and I will bolt the things to it and cut it straight, cut it down to size. It needs to be 2 foot by 4 foot. You know, doors, amazing things. Unfortunately, I did damage this trying to get it out. That was one thing I was trying to avoid doing, but can't have everything. It is just scrap at this point. Well, I finally did it, and I got the bottom shelf done. So these knobs will pull, and as you can see, it just fell. But when it would be flipped upside down, this would just sit on here, and it would just give a little bit of tightness right here to get over that little edge, because that's the bolt. And unfortunately, the bolt makes it a little harder. Of course, I can't do this one-handed like I did before. There we go. Yeah, so it just sits normally, kind of like as an edge. It's tight, it wouldn't fall, and stays on there sort of with pressure. See if you can see. Yeah, just a little bolt. It'll probably scratch a little bit and get easier to get in there, but that's all it's there for. But it makes a cool little bottom drawer that most people wouldn't notice. So right here, fancy little table made from just parts. literally a header, just a board, and an old table. Now they were the original sides, but they were missing the center portions. I literally just pieced this together, and it looks like it's always been one piece. And that is my favorite thing to do, is to make something that didn't exist out of what would just be considered scrap. So here's my tinker project for today. Always remember, Blue, take time to tinker. Huh? Yeah.